Hello, in this video I'm going to cook for you cheesesteak sandwich. Now, I understand that the authentic way of this recipe is called Philly cheesesteak sandwich. But I don't know how to do it the Philadelphia style way, so I'm just going to call this recipe cheesesteak sandwich. Now, the steak I'm going to use for this recipe is cooking right now. I'm not going to go into too much detail of how I prepare the steak because I already did a video on me cooking steak. I'm going to leave below on the video in the video description of where you can find the video in which I do steak and mashed potatoes. Now, in that recipe, the steak I'm going to cook in this recipe and the steak I cooked in that recipe, the way I did both times are basically the same thing. That's why this time I'm not going to cover of how I do the steak, but I will show how I'm going to do the onion I'm going to use for this recipe as well. The ingredients I'm going to use today are going to be I'm going to use some hoagie buns as bread for the sandwich. And I'm also going to use sliced cheese, this here, and I'm also going to use a bit of butter. But for now, I'm going to concentrate on cutting up the onion. Now I'm not going to use the whole onion, but I'm not going to use the whole onion for a particular reason, but I'm just going to cut half of it. And then the other half I'm going to put back in the baggie. Okay. Now I'm going to cut the onion. Sorry about that. I will show you another thing I do with this steak, but that's going to be later on in the recipe. But for now, I'm just going to show you how I cut the onion. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and put the onion in the pan. Excuse me, I had a bit of sweat on my nose. It's not what you're thinking, I just had some sweat on my nose. Okay? If you can see what I did here, I put the onion in the steak. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put the top on thing. I'll be right back with you guys in a few seconds. Okay, I'm back now. Now I'm going, as you can see, I have some hoagie rolls. As you can, hopefully you're able to see that I have two hoagie rolls here. Well, actually 4 slices of bread, but it's still 2 hoagie rolls. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put butter on the hoagie rolls. I don't want to put too much butter on the bread, so that way it doesn't come out so buttery, or too buttery. I noticed at the end, a few seconds ago, I said you guys. I heard on a YouTube video that it's good to say you. you know, that when you say you, a video gets more views, and I keep forgetting to say you at times. So please forgive me if I don't say you, or I say you guys instead of saying you. It's just, it's hard for, sometimes it's hard for me to remember things. Okay, that's enough. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and put the cheese on there. I think with this I might have to get some scissors. Okay, I said scissors, so I may not have to get scissors. I thought I had to walk into my bedroom to get the scissors. Now I'm going to slice the cheese like this. Now I know some of them don't look very evenly, but I did the best that I could. Now I'm going to go ahead and put them in the oven. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put these in the oven. I'm going to see about 16 minutes. It could be done earlier. It all depends. I don't have my mitten as I usually have because I threw it away some. Okay, that's cooking. I'll be right back with you in just a few seconds. Okay, the steak is done. I'm just letting the, as always in my recipes, I'm letting the grease drain from this colander. After it drains, that's when I'm going to start chopping it up into pieces, because I guess that's the way to make the steak for the cheese. That's the way to make cheese steak sandwich. Now, I'm going to take the bread with the cheese that's melted out of the oven, as you can see right here, and I'm going to put it right here. I'm going to let it cool off. I'll be right back when I'm ready to chop up the steak. Okay, now I'm going to start chopping up the steak. You can barely see the onions, but it's still there. Some of the onions probably childable. It may not seem that the onions are there, but they are there. So I'm going to go ahead and chop up the steak and onions now. Okay, now I'm going to start putting the steak onto the sandwich. I'm going to take that off there. Okay, I'll be right back. I'll be right back in just a second with you for the taste test. Now I'm going to do the taste test for the cheesesteak sandwich. It tastes good. I want to just take one more bite just to savor the meat. It tastes perfect. I thank you for watching my video, and I wish you a very nice day.